Alrighty, hola mola y'all. Welcome back to another art stream on a Wednesday. We draw Wednesdays, guys. It's Wednesday. I'm back from my. Is it Wednesday or is it Tuesday? See, now I'm like freaking bugging out. Okay, yeah, it's Wednesday. All right, okay. All right, so yes, I'm back from my little vacation from last weekend. Hope everybody's enjoying their summer. And just because it's summer doesn't mean we have to take too big of a break, because we don't want to take too big of a break. We have to draw and make some art because, as we all know, art is a cognitive function. So that means if we stop drawing, we get worse. So we got to keep up with our practicing, whether it's 15 minutes each day, 20 minutes, doing a whole hour. Totally up to you guys. Just draw. Honestly, I'm not sitting here saying, hey, have like 4-hour sessions every day. No, because we all have lives, right? Unless you're a little more like me on my side and you like spending hours and hours of drawing, then that's a good thing. But for those of you who don't have that much time, just understand that even 15 minutes of just forcing your brain to create something in 2D space is enough. Okay, so yeah, so let's get right into it. So my plan for today, honestly, is just to practice. We're just practicing today, going back to the good old OG messaging that we have started on this channel since the beginning, where we're just practicing and practicing and practicing our skills. And lately I've just been doing more illustrations now that I've improved and I've gotten more used to creating a lot of these stuff. But now that I've taken a break, I'm feeling, yeah, we're gonna need to practice some more. So let's get back into it. So my plan today is just, honestly, we're here until 8 o'clock. I'm just gonna spend 4 hours just practicing stuff. And feel free to join along, and also practice and do your art studies as well. That's typically what this channel is here for. I'm not going to draw anything super fancy today. We're just gonna go stick to the basics and just remind ourselves how things work. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's do this. Let's plan this out. Let's start off with, let's do body parts. Let's take it part by part. Body part by body part. So I want you to go ahead and go on Google right now and just look up references, and we're gonna look for hands. We're gonna do hands. Let's draw some hands. And then some of you may hear that and you might you might be thinking to yourself, what, hands? No, that's too hard. But nah, you can't be scared, okay? Hands are, in my opinion, one of the easier things to draw on the body. And the reason why is because when you get used to drawing from real life, everybody has hands. Well, most of you guys hands, I would assume. If you're an artist, you probably have a hand, and that's probably what you're using. If you don't have hands, then disregard what I'm about to say. But for most of us, you have hands. You can, if you ever start struggling, if you ever struggle drawing hands, you just use your own hands. Take pictures of your own hands. We're in the age of technology where we can take pictures now, and that's a big advantage that we have as an artist today versus back then. Back then we couldn't just take a picture of our hand and just use it to study, but now we can, and we should definitely be utilizing that to improve and do our studies. So I've already Googled some references for hands. Now I won't be able to share that with you guys on screen, as I always say. But yeah, let's just get started. Let's get drawing. Let's start drawing some pictures. Okay. So as always, when you're drawing, make sure you're breaking down everything into shapes. So we're gonna have a hand here. And don't forget that knowledge is power. So the more you understand about hands, the easier it is for you to draw it and break it down. So now I'm just going to draw a square, because we're always going to break it down to shapes. And then this is going to be our palm, or half of the hand here. And I'm gonna rise this a bit, this corner here. Because we got the knuckles, right? So the knuckles, I'm gonna draw these lines for the knuckles. So when you draw a box for your hand, the middle is the knuckles, and then the other box is always gonna be your fingers. And we got the thumb here, okay? And the reason why is because the knuckles are literally the halfway point of your hand. So once you reach your knuckles, that's half of your hand, and the other half is your fingers. But just don't forget that on the front of your hand, the knuckles are right here, but in the front, you've got some webbing that cover up your fingers as it goes up. So on the front, people make this misconception that this is where your knuckles are when you're looking at your palm area. But no, your knuckles are down here. And your knuckles start this other muscle that make up the webbing of your palm. Okay? And I'll erase that to make it a little clearer. So just don't forget that when you're drawing your hand. So we got the knuckles here. And then according to my reference, we're going to draw the fingers. And now for the last finger, we can't see it, so we're just going to draw the knuckle here. And then just keep in mind the middle knuckle is always the highest one. That is why we drew it that way. And also, let's put some music while I'm talking in the background. So now, that way we're not completely silent. Now on the side plane here is where we're gonna put our thumb, right? So we got the webbing here. This is gonna be the front part of our thumb, and then we're gonna draw the other part, right? So then the thumb, we always put it into two blocks here coming out. And then we've got the palm part here, right, of your thumb. And then we just move on to the wrist. And now, as always with your wrist, the pinky part here, the bump is pretty prominent on your pinky side. And then on your thumb side, it's not that prominent. So we know it's there, but we don't really show a bump for it. And I can see this bump on my reference as well. So it checks out. Okay, and this hand is holding a ball. So I'm gonna draw a circle here. There you go. Now that we have all the forms, like shading this becomes easy, right? Because we know where all the forms are. We can easily just really shade things in and just really show the form, even on the knuckles here, if we wanted to. Okay. And now let's keep practicing. Take another square. And I'm gonna break the square like this and create a new shape. I'm gonna take the palm muscles here. Now these are where the knuckles are. So now we can immediately start putting fingers. Like the fingers can have, you know, your fingers, when you push it down on your knuckles, right? You can go all the way down here. So, but what happens is that we still have this webbing in the front, right? So we got to show that webbing getting squished here. Because it's really, you know, you can take your pinky and just make a close fist with it, and you always see that there's like this, you know, like the webbing parts get very squishy here. And now let's create a ball that this hand is carrying. So we're gonna draw a circle. Now that I've drawn the circle, we can draw that webbing of the finger a little better. And that's just the thumb. And now we're gonna follow this thing here, and then the knuckles will be down here as we follow the back part here. You know, and this thing that I made up here, I kind of erased it, but you know, you can still kind of get an idea of where all that's at. I'm going to divide the fingers into 3 parts. And over here we're going to have the thumb. And then again, if we add the wrist, this is the pinky side. So again, that thumb is going to be pretty prominent. That ulna, we'll be able to see that. All right. There we go. I'm going to create this bump off of the square again. Oh, actually, hold on, I drew the square wrong. Whoops, okay. There you go. This is how we're looking at that square in the distance. Now we're going to draw this bump here. but this is the highest part of the knuckle. So we're not really going to see the other fingers. And here's the side. I'm going to create the thumb. Yeah, let's widen it. So now I wanted to draw the ball here so that way I can properly extend the thumb. It's a little too much. I think this looks better. I made this ball too round, too big. So let's actually do this. Let's make the ball first. I think that will be a smarter approach to this, and then we can create the hand on top. And let's really organize our shapes here and our forms. Just want to move this down a bit. We started a little too high. Okay, so the palm is going to be here. Palm sweaty. This is going to be the knuckle. You know, I should have stood in the square. And stay in the square. Because I drew the do the palm outside the square, thinking I needed more room, but okay. I'm gonna create this again to identify where the middle finger is. Now this is interesting to me because yeah, that ulna that I'm looking at now that I'm looking at my own arm is pretty high compared to the side plane. Yeah, it actually sits. So if we look at the side plane here on the wrist, let's say it ended over here. That ulna bone is actually on top. It's on the top plane. That bone. So you will see that bump on the top. As I'm looking at my reference right now, that's where I see it. So now this is something that I've noticed, and now this is new information for me to use every time I draw a hand. So that bump doesn't show up unless it's on the top plane. Which means that if we look at this one here, if we shade it in, we can actually create the bump here. And just create, just create that, the creases of the muscles. But ultimately, yeah, the bump will be behind everything here. And then that means this one, the bump is more prominent on the top. If we look at that hand here. And that means we would see the bump here. So, that's something to take note of. So, if you feel like you're learning by watching and drawing along, don't forget to leave a like on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Draw a hand here and draw this curve here. I'm gonna make this curve the highest point, which means that this is the right hand. So that means the thumb is going to be on this side. So just don't forget, when we break the finger into 3 points, from the knuckle, if we're starting at the knuckle, not the web part in the front, if we're starting from the knuckle, then the size of this is equal to the size of the last 2 fingers, and then we just cut the last 2 by half. So when you draw the first part of the finger, you just double this to draw the other finger, and then you cut that one by half, and then you have all 3 joints. But just remember that they get smaller. So I did the middle finger first to kind of adjust where the largest finger is, and now I can create the other fingers using that as a reference. Which is why you got to do the middle finger first, because it's very, very relative to the other fingers. Now, let's draw the circle. I should have drawn the circle first, to be honest, but totally forgot to. Let's draw the circle now. Let's draw this ball that this hand is holding. Let's draw the last finger. The 4th finger is behind the ball here. So we just draw a knuckle to really show that it's digging in there. And now I don't want to make this the same size as this finger, so I want to make sure I make it shorter on purpose. I'll create the other bump here. All right. There we go. And I'm going to create the webbing that's on the front. And now we'll create the thumb here. Which the ball kind of is over here. But we still kind of see the thumb. And now let's draw the wrist. And now, again, we learned that the ulna is on top. So I'm going to draw a big bump there to show it. To really emphasize that it's there. Okay, and then there's the rest of the arm. Okay. Oh, we just keep drawing. It's been a while since I sat down and, drawn because of my break, so I have to make up for lost time here and really remind myself how things are drawn. Got the biggest knuckle here. me erase this. Whew, okay. So as we're squishing, gotta make sure we make this the roundness of the finger here. Make it more plump. I'm gonna erase this here to show that the thumb is above this finger. Alright. So this was a weird one to draw because there's like a lot of flexing going on over here, but well, I will say that if I had to fix it, you could stretch this a bit more in to really get that the folding of the hand here. It's a lot better. Okay, now let's draw another one. Just draw lots of hands. Just draw lots and lots of them. But we'll draw one more, we'll move on to another body part. Well, let's draw the middle finger first. So I'm using the hand to reference here. So let's take the half point. All right. Just so you guys know what's going on in my mind. I'm gonna take this part, and now that's how long we've got the first part of the middle finger, and now we doubled that, right? So now we know where the end of the middle finger is by using these measurements. Let's put the joint down here. Okay, so the end of the finger should be here, but we also know that once you hit this joint, right, half of this becomes the other two joints of the fingers. So we're gonna look at the half. We're gonna bend it a bit. There we go. So now that we've got the middle finger, the rest of the fingers, we can figure it out very easily now, because we just refer to the middle finger for everything. Same thing here. I'm gonna take, all right, pinkish end here. So I'm cut it by half. Hey, what's up, Tally? Yo, yo, yo. Just popping in and out. Okay. Go ahead. Pop in and out today. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Thanks for popping in. But, you know, if you got a busy day ahead of you, then, you know, gotta go take care of it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, today we're just chilling and we're just practicing. So, you know, so nothing spectacular today. Have a bit of a headache, was outside with the kids, and the heat got to you. Oh man. So that usually means you're not drinking enough water. So take it easy, but drink some water. No, that's why I said you're not drinking enough water. Whatever amount you drank, it's not enough. You gotta drink more. It was just too hot? Well, you know, that's fair an argument as well, but you know, make sure you're drinking a lot of water, especially when you are dealing with the heat. Your body needs more water to deal with the heat. So drink up, people. Stay hydrated. And you know, if you want, you might want to buy one of those cups that show you how many liters you're drinking. Well, I don't want to say cups, like a bottle, right? One of those bottles that show you how many liters you're going to be drinking. So that way you know exactly how much you're consuming, right? And you're keeping a good track of it. Florida weather sucks. What? No, Florida weather's the best. It's always hot in Florida. I love it. Not at 100 degrees, that's the most comfortable. That's like sunbathing 100 degrees. Like you just chilling under the sun. I feel like a baked potato outside. Well, you're definitely baking. At 100 degrees, you're definitely baking. Okay. I want a new tattoo. That's wow, you really got cooked out there. Out there in 100-degree weather, and you're like, you know what? A new tattoo. Yep. A new tattoo. That's what all this weather is telling me. No, this is too small to work with. You want something that represents everything that you have gone through in life so far. Okay. Any idea of what that might be yet? Or, you know, we just know that's what it's gonna be. I just know that's what I get. Hmm? What do you mean? What does that mean? Okay, we're gonna work on feet next. We did hands, might as well do feet. Right, that's what you want. Okay. See, now it's all making sense. Okay, so when it comes to feet, just don't forget that there's a bone that sticks out to the back. Like if you did a side view, we've got all the bones in the front, right? And then, you know, we got all the little toe bones, but then there's like a really fat bone that goes in the back. That's your heel. Don't forget about your heel, guys. Okay. And also another thing I want to point out is, and you know what, I'll use this one for it, but don't forget that the front is wider than the back. So if I drew this upside down, but if we draw it from the bottom of the foot, it's gonna make this shape with the heel here. And then the toes spread out widest here, right? So just keep that in mind, because if you're gonna draw it on the floor, then let's make a shape here. And then I also want to remember that this shape gets smaller as it goes inside through the foot, right? So just things you want to be aware of when you're drawing this stuff, because at least for me, every time I drew a foot, I wasn't thinking about that at all. And that's kind of where a lot of my mistakes came from whenever I would draw it. Okay. Yeah, I would like to tell my story to the artist and have them draw me something. Oh, okay, that sounds hard. Because how long would the artist have to listen in order to figure out something on the spot that's gonna represent like your whole life? Right? I will make synopses of key things. Okay, but I mean, like, you know, every artist is different. But for me, I pay for that. I charge for that. I don't. It's more work for me when I have to figure things out for my client. So it's like, listen, man, if I gotta use my brain cells, then that's coming out of your pocket. No, but I'm just saying there are some artists that don't even do that. Like, I would say most artists don't even do that. Not, you know, not that I know every artist, but they're, you know, using their creative prowess as part of the whole thing, I guess. But for me, it's just kind of like, nah. Like, I when I get commissioned, if my customer knows, if my client knows exactly what they want, that's when I charge them the cheapest, because they save me the trouble of figure everything out, you know, in the illustration. But if they have like a clear idea of what they wanted, they just want me to draw it, then it comes out very, very cheap. But when they want me to do a commission and they're like, I don't really know what I want, I want you to figure everything out, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, then I'm charging you extra. Because I gotta figure it out, not you. Well, yes, of course, of course. So basically, you know, if you want to put some time and effort into it, you could figure out what it is that you want ahead of time and make the artist's life easier. You know, and I know some tattoo places, they have like I've seen they do like a freaking, like they'll make designs preemptively, and then they'll have like a little gotcha where, because some people just want a tattoo but they don't know what they want, and they just be like, okay, here, we're gonna have you, you know, put a coin in here and you're gonna randomly get a tattoo and we're gonna draw it on you. Like you're randomly gonna get a design and we'll draw it on you. And I'm just like, that's so clever, because it satisfies the customer's like craving to get a tattoo, while at the same time saves the artist a lot of freaking thinking, and everybody's happy. If I were to commission something from you, it would be something about my zodiac sign. The Scorpio. Oh no, I hate scorpions. I don't want to draw a scorpion. They got these long butts. I'm sorry. They got these long glutes. I'm gonna stop. It's called the tail, guy. It's called the tail. It's called the stinger. Stinger ding. Stinger, stinger, stinger. A cute scorpion. You can't make scorpions cute, okay? We can't take a scorpion and give it big googly eyes and eyelashes, okay? You can't do that. They're supposed to look menacing, okay? See, but the real question is, do you really want a scorpion, a cute looking scorpion on your body? Huh? Aren't you supposed to be tough? Maybe I put this a little too far. I'm already a menace. Oh, you changing your mind? A Chinese zodiac sign? Which one's that one? The dog, the sheep, the dragon, what else? I'm trying to remember it off of Jackie Chan Adventures. That's the only way I know them. The boar, the snake. You're a dragon. Oh, I hate dragons. If you're around for my Neil the World Ends With You, I literally said that at the end of the game. I was just like, yes, the boss is not a dragon, because I freaking hate dragons. Because, you know, you play enough Japanese video games, it's like dragons are all over the freaking place. You can't win here. See, that's the thing. There is no winning. It's just only losing. Okay, that's enough extended be here. Let's draw from a different angle. Gotta add some meat to these bones. How about your spirit animal? What's your spirit animal? What would I even be? A wolf? Why a wolf, though? Why a wolf? 4K. Because it's your animal, but like, what is it about the wolf that like you, I guess, kind of, I don't know. Actually, this side's more flat. There you go, and then this is going to be the thumb side. They mate for life, they protect their pack, they're resourceful. I mean, I just like wolves because they big and fuzzy. But aren't they like typically lonely creatures, no? I like the idea of a lone wolf. I feel like I got this a little wrong here. Perhaps I make this thicker. Yeah, it looks a lot better. All right. Take all the time you need. Just remember when it comes to the ankles, the inside is lower than the outside. The outside ankle is positioned higher. Hey, welcome back. Cooking, it's that time of the day already? Yeah, it is that time of the day already. Oh man. What am I gonna eat today? I don't know, but I'll find out post stream. So what's on the menu today? Chicken fingers and veggies. Oh, those poor chicken fingers. Oh, homemade chicken fingers. You mean not the frozen ones? Like homemade, like homemade, or no frozen stuff. Yeah, that homemade. All right, impressive. Impressive. Hang on, guys. I just realized I was wrong about something earlier. I just want to look up. This would make sense, but let me look it up to make sure. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, so I was wrong earlier. The inside is the shorter version. The outside ankle is deeper. So what I just drew, I drew the inside going in deeper, but the outside is the one that digs deeper. So it's this direction. So the outside ankle is lower than the inside ankle of your foot. Okay. And if you draw it from the bone, it's like this. It's because the bone's like that, and then that extra little bone that comes out from, I think this is the tibia, but this bone just kind of comes and attaches, but it ends up being lower, where the main bone sits on top of that other bone that's on your foot. Okay. There you go. Gotta correct myself. And this is why it's good to like practice these things or remind yourself all these important landmarks and information. You can catch these errors, and I wouldn't have never caught this if I wasn't drawing from a reference. So that's why you should be drawing from reference. You have another tattoo idea? How about drawing me as an assassin? Why would you want a drawing of yourself as an assassin on your body? That's like the first thought that comes to my head. Why? Why? Why is this an idea? Because it's cool. And you're an assassin every year for the Renaissance Festival? That is true. You did mention that, yes. That is pretty valid. Wait. Now that's some good water. Some good water. Ah, man. Not gonna lie, guys. I'm in the mood to play some more Final Fantasy VIII, but we spent 2 days out of the week playing it. I spent 12 hours playing it this week. But man, I sure am craving some more of that game. But I think more of it is just because I'm just excited because I'm actually like progressing through the game in a way where I feel like I can beat it. You know, like we're actually gonna succeed at the end. Because the first time, you know, I got through the game, no problem. But as soon as I hit the boss, like it was just a whole different story. Like I couldn't win. I couldn't ever win. That boss had a couple of phases to it, but it was impossible to win. And I was helpless. I didn't know what to do. I've already gotten to the end of the game. I've already leveled up my characters. I was just stuck, and that's kind of the fate of the game, where you don't know what the heck you're doing when you go in. But you know, they got me the first time, and then the second time it's kind of like what's happening right now, but like, you know, I'm still more unaware. Like again, I was leveling up my characters and training them to get stronger, but I didn't realize that the game scaled the bosses and the enemies with your character's levels. And I also didn't know that the Guardian Forces add more to your stats. So I was missing out on some gains that I could have gotten for my characters as I was leveling them up. And not only that, but you know, eventually my main character got all the way up to level 99. It was too late. And all my other characters were struggling. So it was just like main characters just one-shotting everything for 99999 damage and stuff. And I was progressing that way, but it was just kind of like, but I knew that in the end I just wasn't gonna win because I just did everything wrong. You would watch? No, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. But, you know, you gotta play video games in moderation. At least that's how I feel. You know, I should be spending more time drawing and making art and being creative. I've already spent 12 hours playing video games this week, so that's it for me. You know, I'll just wait until next Sunday. We'll continue next Sunday. I've gotta resist the urges because, in my opinion, that's part of being an adult, having that self-control to resist your human urges and making better choices. So it's not good to be playing video games all the time. And I'm so looking forward to like lecturing my kids about this because, oh my god. I already know. They're gonna be on the games all the time, and I gotta be like, well, here's the screen time. And they can't say nothing to me because I limit myself on screen time even as an adult. So they can't say, oh, Dad, but you're on the phone or on the computer all the time. It's like, no. I lead by example, okay? I'm not gonna, you know, enforce something on my kids that I don't enforce on myself. Well, you know, there'll be a few exceptions, right? Like, obviously, they can't, actually, yeah, let me not say anything because, you know, we are in, you know, this is an art stream, so, you know. Some things we can't talk about here. But yeah, self-control is a very important thing and is a very important skill to pick up. And let me tell you, a lot of people in the world don't have it. I am one of the very small percentage, I would say, of people who's got some good self-control. Well, at least that I know of, but I do know it's not a common trait to have. It's more common to not have self-control than to have some self-control. Actually, we're gonna stretch this out over here. Let's also spread this out a bit, because again, we're going outwards, because the feet gets larger as it goes up, right? Now let's draw that muscle on the bottom of the foot here. Okay, now I'm gonna draw, let me just draw some more front drawings of the feet, and then we can move on to another body part. I just want to draw a few ones in the front, because honestly I struggle a lot with the front view of the foot, like condensing all the forms here. Like if you ever drew a character just standing, right, and like their feet is just in the front, like this is always the hardest part for me. Well, the hardest angle. So I actually like prefer to like move their feet like around so we can see a side, because it's easier to draw all these forms. It's easier to draw the foot in these forms than like the foot in front. Like having the heel up shows more of the form of the feet, so that's easier for me. But like when I actually have to draw it like standing in front with this foreshortened view, that's when it actually becomes tougher. But part of it is understanding that there are muscles on the bottom, and you know it gets wider as you go to the front. So these are some key things that I always need to remember, so that way I'm not struggling all the time when I'm drawing the foot from the front view. Okay, just give me a second. Let me just get some more dudes. Well, actually, hold on. There was another one I wanted to draw here. Okay, let me draw this one real quick. No space here. Let's do it over here. Remember, the heel was the smallest part, so I'm widening the bottom of the foot here. Keeping that in mind. Add the muscles. Okay. So from everything I've seen, it's just these three groups. You just get the ankles, you get this front plane, and you know, don't forget the rise from the big toe. And then you have the toes, and then you really spread the toes out. Because again, the front part is the largest part. Right? So it gets really wide in the front. So just make sure you remember that, and just remember that there's, you know, you're standing on these big fat pads that are under your feet. Just keep that in mind. Not that, you know, it would show, but you know, again, like you got for stuff like this, you would really see the fat pad under it. Right? So, anyways, I think that's enough for the feet. Now let's draw another body part. Let's do arms. So, as usual guys, just Google arm references and you'll find a lot of stuff that you can use. And not only will you find references, but you'll find anatomy guides. And just, you know, if you want, just pick and choose anatomy guides that you find on the internet. And just work with that. You know, all this stuff is free. All the stuff you can find online, nothing's stopping you. Just Google search it and do it. And just practice it until you're very familiar with it, that you don't need to look it up anymore. And I would also say you might want to save some of these images and make like a folder for you to always come back to, and just rinse and repeat on the stuff that you're already, you know, the stuff that you've drawn. Okay, so I pulled up a couple of things. Hang on, I gotta use the bathroom real quick, but I'm gonna be right back because it's gonna be real quick. I'll be back really quickly, and you know, we'll get started on drawing some arms. Okay, we're back. Oh yeah. I think I want to start off with like drawing. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think I want to start off by drawing the arm and just kind of looking at all the muscles. Okay. So when it comes to the arms, I'm just gonna go the extra mile and actually look at the muscles to just remind myself where all the muscle groups are, especially when it comes to the arms. And the reason why is because I spent a lot of time drawing women, and I don't draw muscular arms often enough. So if I'm gonna take the time to practice, I think I definitely want to brush up on the muscles, making muscular arms, because then when I go back to drawing an arm that is not so muscular, we just tone it down and we use less information. So that's where I'm kind of going. That's the angle we're going at right now. Okay, so what if we looked at the muscles? Let me draw some arms. So I'm gonna look at references of just regular arms, but I'm gonna draw them and break them down by the muscle structure. Okay. Oh my god, it is raining right now. Wow, look at all that rain. Wow, it's pouring hard. Sorry, I'm really distracted right now. I'm gonna actually look at the weather. But, yep, it is a rainstorm right now. Oh, and it's gonna be raining until Friday. Ha. Well. I'm glad I did all my chores earlier today, because I had no idea. I just assumed it was just gonna be hot. Okay. Mm, yeah, that part's a little confusing for me right here. Let's keep steady. So this area right here is pretty important. Okay. No? Let's look at legs. see. Okay. All right. Okay, we got 10 more minutes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just jab. But that's gonna pretty much be the end of today's streaming session. So, just to go over what we did today, we did practice on drawing body parts, but we separated, right? And we did the exercises here. So I did give a couple of, tips and facts to reference when you are drawing these body parts, with the exception of the legs. But we did hands, we did feet, we did arms, and we did legs. Most of the time I'm doing torsos. When I am practicing most of the time. So, just wanted to practice on all the other smaller areas that I don't practice enough. Obviously, if you do it doing it one time, it's not going to be enough. You're gonna have to do your practicing on several body parts, pretty, here and there. Just come back to it eventually. If especially if you don't draw a lot, you're gonna forget, and then you're gonna have to come back and you're gonna have to do these exercises again. So it just all really depends on just how often you draw and how often you have to draw these things, and your brain's gonna remember that and it's gonna retain it. Speaking of retaining, that's biggest reasons why we split it up, is to help us retain the information easier. So, that's why I split it up and I didn't put it into do it all in one thing. It's easier to just hyper focus on one body part at a time. You get to focus on a few specific details and you'll remember that, right? And when you're drawing like the full body, you take it, take the piece little by little, focus on small little areas at a time, especially when you're doing your sketch and you're constructing the form. Do the whole form, figure out how, the whole picture's gonna be. And then when you come back into it, when you're drawing like the hands, you can really sit there and think about, okay, well, this part of the hand is here, and this is here, and this form is there, right? Kind of like how we were thinking when we were doing it here. And, you can really concentrate on where you want to put the, where you want to add detail. What parts of the hands you want to feature in your drawing. You make small little decisions like that as you go along. And again, concept is everything. Like if I had the hand all the way in the front of the illustration that I'm drawing, then of course I'm going to make the hand really detailed because it's a big part of the whole illustration, right? But if the hand is like all the way in the back, in the background, it's very small, do the best, do what you can to show the figure and the form, but you're not going to go into too detail because it's very small, right? You're going to go into detail on the most, obvious point, right, or part of your illustration. But because we switch it here and there are sometimes I'll do a drawing and it's like there's no feet in it, so it's just I didn't get my practice on feet because I wasn't drawing feet, right? Or maybe there's no hands in the drawing, right? It's just a face, so then I don't get to draw the hand, I don't get to practice in with the hand. So same thing goes with the legs here. Sometimes it's above the waist, so then I don't get to do any leg stuff. So that's why it's good to just take a moment, take some time out of your day to just really look at this stuff, look at a reference and just really break it down, draw it on your paper or on your digital tablet or whatever it is that you're drawing on, and just kind of hyper focus on these details to just kind of put it in your brain and just remind yourself, these are where the shapes are, these are where the volumes are. I went really in with the muscles on the arms and the legs because these are things that I don't often think about, and I wanted to think about it when I was, going off of the reference, and just break up where all the muscles are to just kind of give me that idea of how it functions and just remind me of that, because, not every illustration I'm going to be drawing the muscles, right? I'm not going to be giving the muscle a lot of volume because that all depends on the character, but just basic foundation. I wanted to increase the information so that way, I'm absorbing more in my training session and my practice session. So that way, when I do go back to an illustration, the knowledge is there, and then I just kind of like, reduce the amount of information that's being shown, right, in the illustration, because we're not going to show every muscle and all that. Again, all that's dependent on the character, but again, I just want to have the knowledge, have it there, remind myself when I'm next time I do a sketch, I'm going to remember where these muscle groups are. And sometimes this stuff, if you really want to be detailed, you can add the stuff, you can detail the stuff in with the shading. And I might just do that. So yeah, that's why we break it apart. That's why we hyper focus on different body parts together, because it helps us learn more, and it also helps us retain the information. Yeah, and there we go. I've been online for about 4 hours, just practicing. So now it's time for me to end the stream. So, hopefully you guys got a lot out of today's stream. For those of you artists who are watching, and if it was helpful and you're on YouTube, hit that like button, and, share with a friend if they're also struggling on these specific body parts and they want the advice as well. But, yeah, other than that, I'll be back next week, of course, again, to draw on stream, because I will always be drawing. Oop. And I will see everybody next time. Oh, actually, before I hit that ending stream, let's talk about something real quick. Guys, I have a webcomic. Did you know that? Did you know I write stories and I draw and create characters? Yeah, and I have one for you to read. It's called Reborn Daughter, but this one's only for ages 16 plus. So if you're, on the younger side, you won't be able to read this, but I have 2 romance stories. This is the one that I've worked on this one for a year, so we've got a lot of episodes on this out, and a lot of the characters are featured on my channel. This one follows a young man who discovers he's gonna have a daughter in the future. So we're trying to find out in the story who the mom is. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and give me a read. Check it out on Webtoon Canvas. That's where it's at right now. Hopefully I start uploading the stuff on other platforms, but if you are on the younger side and you still want to support me and read my stuff, I've got a new comic on Webtoon Canvas called 5 Shooting Stars, which was a part of our 2025 Webtoon contest, and I've got like nobody supported me. So we didn't win the contest, but it's still there for you guys to read, and this one's for all ages. This one's about 2 young teenagers who decided to let the universe decide if they get to be together or not. They have to see 5 shooting stars in order to become a couple. Otherwise, they'll never see each other again. If this sounds like a romance story that you might be interested in, go ahead and check out 5 shooting stars on Webtoon Canvas. I said Webtoon contest. And yeah, you can always come back on the channel and let me know what you think. So yeah, we did the plugin at the end. Shout out to Tali for hanging out with me today. I don't know if she's still making food, but hopefully all that stuff comes out nice, and hopefully everybody has a wonderful day and a wonderful night for you watching live. And yeah, I'll be back next week on the YouTube channel. We may have no promises, but I'm aiming to give you guys another process speed paint video of my next illustration by next week. So hopefully we get that on the channel. And for those of you on Twitch, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Sunday we will be continuing the Final Fantasy VIII run. And for those of you on YouTube who don't know, I do have a second YouTube channel. It's Tower Tiffy Out Games, where we hang out and we play video games instead of doing art. So, if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, you can go check me out on that channel. Links are on every YouTube video. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. All right. Don't forget, guys, your efforts will never betray you. Work hard to get those skills that you desire, and they will always be yours. Keep practicing and be kind to others, and I will see everybody next time. Peace out.